Welcome to another Bat Rep from the Warhammer Orchard. Today, myself and Matt are going to go through some of the games we played under the baking sun. Welcome, Matt.
Hey.
The first game here centered around camp. The Tomb Prince is trying to retrieve the Van Braces of the Sun. Your first time using Beastmen for this game. Yeah, and I made up tents. Here's the setup of the field. You got two camp patrol wandering around, and that mechanic was pretty fun. So the Tomb Prince selected to come up over here, and the object is to search the tents until he finds the Van Braces, and he can, when he searches the tent and finds just normal troops, he can elect to try to slay them or just leave the tent and keep looking. And another shot here, some of the sweet bean scenery. So the guards are moving a bit. Next shot. So the Tomb Prince gets the first turn. He moves up his 4 inches. We got the guards moving around. Can't quite see me yet.
Yeah, very sneaky of this Tomb Prince.
Then the next shot, a little bit of a close-up there. And then the next shot, he goes up. So turn 2, and your guards have sort of moved a little bit away, and the Tomb Prince checks the big tent. Nothing. This is the point where this is the third tent I've checked here.
This is where the alarm gets sound.
Because you can see me.
Yep.
Shit. The alarm goes off and boom! All the beastmen rush out of their tents. Oh, and that's another thing. For a turn, they're all like friggin' sleepy and can barely hit me, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's the Tomb Prince, and we've got my skeleton archers that have come out of the rubble, of the boulders. And then we've got the hero there who comes out of the tent right next to the one that the Tomb Prince has searched. And
yeah, so you were just off by like you were just 1 tent away from getting to your goal, right?
And then bam, you charged, I killed him.
For being how outnumbered you are
in this fight. Yeah, the Tomb Prince is on beast mode.
Yeah.
And so there goes the hero. TombKings archers, when there's only 8 of them. Not going to do very much. Here we are, another shot. So the beastmen would have charged the archers after they tried to shoot. Oh, that's a fear check that you failed with that beastman there.
Yeah.
And my Tomb Prince is getting surrounded. And there's another failed fear check up there.
Yeah, that was basically how a lot of this went. Is like the archers didn't do a whole lot. I kept flooding your hero character, and you just continuously sliced through every single beastman that he encountered.
Because he has the Van Braces of the Sun now, too. Cool. Okay, yeah, so next... And boom! I can't claim victory unless my Tomb Prince can leave the field.
Yeah.
And then, so the Tomb Prince moved forward, and then it's surrounded again. And then we've got another failed fear check. But yeah, more beasties taking out my skeleton archers. And the next shot, oh man, okay, yeah, here comes the rest of the beasts.
Yeah, everyone's just like piling in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, okay, and then there's more. They're just piling on. Okay, yeah, so they're in combat again, and and then it ends. Yeah, he killed them all. That's his casualty pile there behind him.
Yeah, yeah, he's massacre.
But it was like it was rough going for the Beastmen, man, because you needed 4s to hit and 6s to wound.
It was like 2 attacks each because they were wielding 2 hand weapons as well.
Right.
I was hitting you, and I just could not sink a wound in. Did you have any sort of armor save? Do you remember?
I did. I had a light armor and shield and a hand weapon. So he was doing really well, and so he got the waltz off the field.
I'm so glad you got that picture of just a pile of dead beastmen behind him.
Cool. Yeah, that was super fun little scenario.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good time.
And so then
So this is Ambush in an Evil Land.
Right.
I think this one. Yeah.
So here's
And
the battlefield.
I was the defender in this.
And I got a couple photos from the scenario booklet. And so, yeah, I didn't get a lot of shots from this game. It was 1,000 points versus 1,500. TombKings being 1,000, Dark Elves being 15. My list was basically that Tomb Prince with the Van Braces on a Chariot of Fire. He also has a flail and light armor. We got a Lich Priest with Skull, another Lich Priest, Screaming Skull Catapult, 5 Swarms, 15 Skeletons, and 3 Chariots. And this is turn 1, TombKings here, and the Screaming Skull Catapult going for one of those big units, scattered and hit the 2 handlers of the Hydra and missed them both on partials. And your list is what we see here. We've got the crossbows.
So there's 10 warriors with repeater crossbows, 20 corsairs. We had a noble riding the chariot, 20 executioners, and I believe that's 25 warriors there next to them, and then a sorceress on foot behind the chariot, and of course the war hydra. And the boxes and barrels there represent the cargo that I'm trying to transport.
Yeah, the baggage
and that
train.
you're trying to claim.
Yeah. TombKings are trying to move up a little bit here. So swarms in the far side. We've got our spears, chariots with the Tomb Prince, and then Scream Skull Catapult with the Lich Priest there. And we got another Lich Priest down on this side. And my swarms would have moved up. Because, my deployment zone on either side was very small. Let's see what's next here. So the Lich Priest cast a single spell. He moved the skeletons up, and then you would have moved up, and then I charged your Hydra with the chariots and my spears.
Yep.
And I failed to take out the Hydra or break him. So then the counter charge.
You did 3 wounds to him.
I did 3 wounds.
Yeah, because he has 6 health.
But me charging in with the skeletons as well as the chariots was a bad idea, just because you were able to win combat essentially by killing the skeletons, right? Or you were able to hold on.
If it wasn't for that unit of skeletons being as squishy as they were, you probably would have sent me fleeing.
Yeah.
But I was able to kind of supplement some of that damage there.
And then obviously, your Corsairs would have charged next turn.
Yep.
And here's the battle line. Following combat, all my chariots were destroyed. I did manage to kill the Hydra.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, the Tomb Prince managed to kill the Hydra. But that was that game. That was, I tossed in the towel at that point because you just wiped me out.
Yeah, I do remember us playing and just having, a good laugh at, some of the ridiculous moments that we were kind of encountering. And we got caught up and just didn't keep track.
Yeah, and it was pretty, small game. It didn't go for that long. So
no, it was 4 turns.
4 turns, yeah. And so for the last game, we played the scenario Parched, and which is basically fighting over the oasis in the middle of the table. The mechanic for dying of thirst would have put the Dark Elves at a disadvantage. We just did away with the Parched mechanic because I wanted a fair fight. And that's the battlefield more or less. And then here is an overview. So my list: archers, swarms, casket, chariots, tomb guard, Ushabti, bone giant, skeletons, and 2 lich priests. And what can we see here on your with your army, Matt?
So we have. I'll start with the shades because they're.
Oh yeah, my scorpion up top here.
Shades. We got the Reaper Bolt Thrower, the High Sorceress riding a Dark Pegasus, War Hydra, 20 Corsairs, They would have the Banner of Slaughter, which gives them a plus D3 on the first combat that they charge in. D3 combat resolution, sorry. Unit of 20 executioners, 25 warriors next to them, Cold One chariot, and then 5 dark riders.
This is TombKings turn 1. We got the first turn. So the arrows here representing movement. Swarms moving up. And that would have been from Magic. This is Dark Elf turn 1. So no charges. Here's some movement. Yeah, some interesting situations in this game. So the Shades move across, and the Hydra moves up.
Yeah. The Shades, my plan for them, I know it kind of looks funky or whatever, is to intercept the swarms that were heading straight for the Reaper Bolt Thrower. Also, the idea of, like, my objective, or both of our objectives in this game, is to be on the Oasis, to win. So it kind of, trying to focus or keep things relatively close to that Oasis while also, like, fending off, the oncoming undead. So it was, for like first turn for me, it was like basic moving forward and, just trying to get as close as I can to the Oasis. I think I got a Doom Bolt spell off with the High Sorceress on your Tomb Guard there. And aside from that, it wasn't overly eventful. There was a little bit of damage done with shooting from the Shades on the Swarm. Looks like one archer got taken out as well on your end.
Yeah.
So minor shooting damage, one spicy Doom Bolt, and that was basically it for the turn 1 of Dark Elves.
Yep. And then there's that. Okay, so turn 2, TombKings. Dark Riders. Looks like they've moved. They were way over on the flank. They moved back. My Scorpion moves to guard the rear because I know your Pegasus loves to jump in behind my lines. So
that Soul Steal spell is just a good one.
So we got general movement forwards, and next. So this is a charge in the magic phase, and then you elected to flee with your Shades.
Yep.
And then with 16 inches charge distance, they were able to make it and catch the Shades and make contact with the Hydra.
Yeah.
That was
that hurt a lot. Right, this is like turn 2. Unit of Shades are just gone.
Yeah, we were unsure if that was how to play it out, but it was like my 16-inch range. Basically, it was like I hit the Hydra. We closed the door, and in so closing the door, I hit the Shades.
Yeah, I think my flee. It was a really low flee distance too, but yeah, I think that was one question that we were unsure of was because the charge was redirected. But it just kind of made sense to play it that way.
Yeah, we played
it. Under any other circumstance, if you make contact with the fleeing unit, it wipes them, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it just made sense to play it that way. Although it did suck to have that happen.
We have a panic test that happened. It made one of your bolt thrower crew flee.
Yeah, he abandoned his post, the coward.
That's right, there he is. Yeah, fleeing away. Cool, so counter charges.
Yeah, so I got a flank on you there with the Corsairs. The Dark Elf bolt thrower crewman rallies himself, gets his composure together and tries to make it back to his bolt thrower. The High Sorceress is just floating around. I'm not exactly sure what I was planning to do. I know I had the Black Horror spell, so chances are I was trying to pull that one off the whole game.
Yeah,
and then more movement up towards the Oasis, just trying to get in contact with that. The Cold One Chariot, I failed the stupidity test, and it just fumbled forward a little bit. Didn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, 2 turns in a row you failed stupidity.
Yeah, they're not bright. Dark Riders moving around the flank, just doing some pesky shooting as they do. It's just the one charge. Nice close-up shot there of the Corsairs in your flank.
That's right, because this was a funny situation too, because that's my Tomb Prince right there. I issued a challenge.
I was mistaken. The assassin was actually in with the Corsairs in this game.
Yeah, that's right.
Not the Shades.
And so then the assassin pops out and takes up the challenge. We were like, dude, does the unit get to attack at all? But since they're all in base contact with the prince, and he's in a challenge, doesn't look like any of the unit could fight. So that's how we played it, because that's how it looks, right?
So if anyone out there in the world knows if that's the proper way to play it, feel free to let us know. Yeah.
So they're fighting there, going along. We've got a dead swarm, and so this is shooting. Some dead skeletons. And then we've got 4 wounds on the Hydra. Some would have happened the first turn, and then so we've got.
I always count down, so that would have been 2 wounds on
2 wounds. Okay.
2 wounds on the Hydra there,
and one single wound on a chariot.
Yeah.
And then boom, with the counter charge and resolution.
That was what I was hoping. So that's where the banner helped out as well. I had the flank on you for that. There was a couple of wounds. It looks like you did 1 wound to the assassin, because I have that dice there.
Yeah.
And he's only a 2
wound
flank character.
Banner, 3 ranks.
Bonus from the banner of Nagaryth. ESB in the Dark Elf Executioner, so there was an additional +1.
Yeah, you got a +1 for numbers, and that just toasted my unit. So all that's left is the prince. My following turn, swarms enter into combat. The Bone Giant charges the Cold One Chariot, and the Cold One Chariot elects to flee. The Tomb Prince kills the assassin.
Yeah, and I have that black amulet. It's like a 50-point magic item on him. Just hoping to do the ward save, because it's like a 5-up ward. Any wounds that are saved with it, the attacking model takes a wound that can't be saved in any way. So I was like, oh, he's invincible now with this 50-point magic item, and he just always dies.
Yeah, and the Tomb Prince, he was doing pretty good, except for that his whole unit was destroyed. And then we've got my Lich Priest here, who in the magic phase gets the Scorpion to charge into the Dark Riders. So yeah, I love TombKings magic in 6th edition, where you can get your units to charge. And
yeah, it's incredibly annoying to deal with.
Yeah. Bam! Then in the following combat, my Tomb Prince survives long enough to take out the Hydra. And then the Tomb Prince dies from combat res. Okay, so then from above here, right, we've got that combat with the Swarm versus the handlers of the Hydra. 4 wounds on the Swarm.
Got the High Sorceress just kind of hanging out in the back again, with the Sorceress on foot, just trailing behind the warriors. The Executioners are now posted up on the Oasis, and the Cold One Chariot managed to rally after fleeing from the Bone Giant. And it looks like you took out one of my Dark Riders there in the previous turn with the Scorpion.
2 wounds on my Scorpion. What's going on with your priestess on the Pegasus? She's got a dice on her base. I must have wounded her.
You must have did a wound to either her or the Pegasus there.
So yeah, we got some movements there, and then the next shot is that combat.
I love those movement markers.
Yeah, it really helps to sort of let you sort of illustrate how the game is moving along. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's great.
and I like the red and green. It really vibrates.
Absolutely.
Yeah, on Thingiverse, man. And this is that. Finally, you take out the swarm,
Yep. Whipped it. Whipped the bugs to death with my fancy whips.
and then the scorpion, following turn, takes out 3 dark riders,
Yeah, you just smoked my Dark Riders.
and they
But that
run.
thing is like tough 5, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's beefy.
and they flee right off the table.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
with no chance of rallying either.
Yeah.
I think it was just one single model.
Yeah,
left.
just one left. Yeah. Cool. And so then in my turn, got some charges. Skeletons against the spears, who fail because of the bone giant in the way. And the Ushabti against the
Executioners.
The Ushabti just make it in. Skeletons don't. And then remaining moves, got the archers whipping around, and the tomb guard coming up. And this is a casket of souls. Damage right there. And then here's the remaining moves. So, yep. Scorpion moves over. Giant moves back. Skeletons move up. My giant, he's like trying to avoid getting singled out by this unit of spears.
Yeah. Well, that's like I mean, unless you do like massive amounts of wounds, like the last thing you want to get in contact with, really.
And so then the Cold One Chariot looks like it's taken a wound.
And it's just doing nothing, this game. It's either failing its stupidity or it's running away from a giant.
Next shot, so we've got the skeleton archers take out the remaining handler. There's no more crew left on the bolt thrower anymore.
It's like at this point in the game, it still kind of feels like could be anyone's game, really.
Totally.
Like, doing equal amounts of damage on both sides. We both lost, some things we didn't want to lose, really.
And so you got a counter charge. So yeah, for my initial charge, didn't do much. I think I flubbed, killed one guy, right? Killed one executioner. And you, looks like you killed one.
No, you killed 2 because I have it'd be a unit of 20, but I had one represented by a dice.
Oh yeah,
okay. I didn't have them all.
And the counter charge by the Corsairs. Failed your fear check with the Corsairs. So they just stood. And remaining moves. Looks like the spears moving back, chariots moving up.
Yeah, Cold One Chariot's moving forward. This is where the High Sorceress. This was what at the moment felt like a great decision, and then turned out to be a terrible decision, as you'll see in a couple of clicks. Fly behind your lines here with the intention of using the Soul Steal spell on your skeletons, and I managed to get it off in the magic phase after creeping up behind you there. It brought her up to 6 wounds.
Yeah,
because you can't go over the double of your starting.
Yeah, you did a lot of wounds, man, with that spell.
I know, man. She does that like every game. She gets like one juicy spell off, and it just like slaps a unit in the face, and then something stupid happens to her where I'm like, why did I do this again? But yeah, no, it was a good one for that moment.
Yeah, because that was a full movement tray there.
Yeah.
And then you've got it's like a debuff on my Ushabti.
Yeah, Word of Pain.
Word of Pain.
So it drops their weapon skill and ballistic skill down to 1. It's a remain in play spell, so I saved that for last.
Yeah. No, that was really good timing for that. And
well, that saved the unit of executioners basically because those guys, they're tough.
But with your great weapons, man, you're able to wound on 3s. So that was a good matchup for you.
Yeah, and then having like the BSB in there with the banner, and believe I had numbers and whatnot. So I had combat res going in my favor as well for that.
Yeah. And then my Tomb Guard charge.
Yeah, charge the Corsairs.
And it's really hard going through all this difficult terrain of the Oasis here. The charge from the Scorpion against your Cold One Chariot, and you
flee again.
You chose to flee again.
I chose to flee. It wasn't doing that because if it's not charging, I don't want it. In combat. Like I want those scythe wheels to be doing what they're intended to do. So I was just like, no, out of here.
And let's see here. You've got a wound on my level 2 Lich, and then my mistake. I moved the casket in this game because I flip flop between 8th and 6th edition, and an 8th casket can move. So my bad. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all good.
And we got some movement with the archers. The Bone Giant moves to within spitting distance of your priest, sorcerer.
Yeah.
Looks like my Tomb Guard made it in. Looks like you've killed a couple of the Ushabti.
And a couple of Tomb Guards. Took some damage as well. Yeah.
Okay. And then next, so we've got this, and in the magic phase, urges him to charge against the priestess on the Dark Pegasus, and you elect to flee. And
3d6. I thought I had that flee for sure.
But I think you rolled like a 6 or something, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty crap roll, and you got her good.
Yeah.
And she has 6 wounds on her.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, great play, man. Yeah. You faked me out because I probably would have done better just holding my ground against that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think so. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's really great when it's like a unit flees from a charge and then the charge is able to get him.
Yeah,
that's happened a few times for me now, and it's great. Okay, and then next, so you got your spears, charge the spears.
Yep.
And your Cold One Chariot is...
It rallied once again.
But now it's stupid again, too. Look, it's got the...
Yeah, you got the stupid counter there.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's so stupid.
And then, bam. Oh, man, yeah, you did work on the on my center.
Yeah, it's combat res for the win there. Lots of crumbling happening.
And that, so the way this scenario goes is that at the end of turn 4, you roll the dice, and on a 5-up, you play another round.
The further the turns go, the less likely it is that you're going to get another one.
Right. And so we actually had forgotten that point at this point, and so we kept playing. So, but if we were to end the game now, you definitely won. We rolled it, and we weren't. It should have ended here.
Yeah.
With hypotheticals, we can actually look to see what would have happened if we played it. But the victory goes to you because you've got all those big blocks there.
Yeah, it's great. It was a great game, though. I mean, up until the center, moment kind of happened, I was sweating bullets at a lot of times, especially after losing that high sorceress. I thought for sure that I was done for. And I think this was also the game where I realized just how serious the Casket of Souls can be, because in previous times I've gone up against the TombKings, it's never really done a whole lot, so I kind of always ignored it. And then I was like, wait a minute, this thing is actually hurting me, and I have a lot of stuff between me and it right now, so I can't go after it directly.
Your line really held up there. My Ushabti and Tomb Guard just did nothing, really. And then turn 5 for TombKings, I would have been able to get off this charge and break this unit. So yeah, the giant and the scorpion flanked, ran down the spears if that had happened, and then it was just a panic check, and your executioners failed their panic.
Right.
So this version of game's a little, a little more balanced or whatever. But you still would have won because you had the bigger unit strength next to the Oasis.
Yeah, we had the Corsairs and the Sorceress on the Oasis at the end of it.
Yeah.
But like TombKings and Dark Elves fight, like, it really balanced good matchup. Those two armies going up against each other. I don't think there's really ever been a moment where we played them, except for that, like, the mini game there with the 1,000 points, versus 1,500 point, like, where one squashed the other brutally. Like, it's always been a good back and forth anytime we've kind of gone up against each other with those two armies.
Yeah.
Makes for a really fun matchup.
Yeah, TombKings and Dark Elves are pretty on par in 6th edition, it seems.
Yeah.
Like, TombKings might have a leg up in terms of, charging in the magic phase and a few other things. Could put, because Dark Elves are pretty low, even with the errata. Pretty low in the ranking,
Yeah, for sure.
That's people's thoughts, anyways. Yeah.
It's their magic that really
carries them.
They like, the dark magic is great. It's high damage. The Word of Pain spell,
getting wounds.
Yeah, Soul Steel, recovering wounds. Like, if you're rolling well with your magic, you can really dish out some damage. If you're getting lucky with shooting too, there's plenty of shooting in the with Dark Elves if if you're fielding that. Like, one of my goals here is to get another Reaper Bolt Thrower. Sometime in the near future, because having one is handy. I can only imagine having two is just going to be great. So it's they're a fun army to play, but they are a little bit tricky at moments. I found them difficult when I first started playing them. Like, I couldn't get a win.
Oh yeah,
save my life.
Yeah, and good luck winning against, like, Warriors of Chaos or something.
Oh yeah, screw that. Don't even try.
Yeah.
just concede.
Cool, man. Yeah, so this was a fun little thing. We do have another game after this that we played, 2,500, TombKings versus Dark Elves, and I've got some photos, so maybe we could do a bat rep of that at some point. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this was a good little series in Under the Baking Sun. Yeah, thanks for trying this out with me. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, thank you. It was it's a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to doing some more of these little campaign type thingies, and mixing up the gameplay a little bit here, and doing some more of these recordings as well.
Yeah, I mean, doing a battle line like pitched battle or whatever is there's endless variations, obviously, but it is nice to add some narrative and a little more theme and scenario and link a couple games, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right. So, thanks for watching, and take care, everyone.